Was Bob Lazar a victim of MK Ultra? This is a claim Jacques Vallée made in one of his books, and I was recently exposed to this idea on an interview that he did with Jesse Mitchells. Jesse talks about this in the intro, and then he never asked Jock about it during the interview. So that's, kind of lame. But it's a fascinating idea that Bob Lazar may have been brainwashed by MK Ultra into believing that he reverse engineered alien technology. Okay, let's get into this idea. This is Jack with Cosmic Road. I talk about aliens and the paranormal. Please hit like, please subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified of future videos. And please comment below if you want to respond and let me know what you think. Also, please consider supporting the channel by becoming a channel member. See the first line in the description below, or simply leave a tip in the tip jar with the super thanks feature right next to the thumbs up button below. Okay, before I get into this, well, first let me just show you what Jesse had to say in his intro. Here goes.
Jacques' books are incredibly dense and detailed, not for the faint of heart. But if you read them closely, Jacques can drop some truth bombs you won't get anywhere else, like in his book Revelations, Alien Contact and Human Deception, when he hints that Bob Lazar was actually an MK Ultra patient, possibly the subject of government brainwashing, which led him to believe he worked on reverse engineering UFOs. On page 9, Vallée writes, Robert Lazar also told me of his strange memory lapses of the peculiar liquid he was made to drink.
It violated a lot of what we thought was impossible to violate.
But what, you ask, is MK Ultra? Well, I'm just going to read from Wikipedia. They're not always reliable on the conspiracy theory stuff, but you can always rely on them to say the minimum and to debunk as much as possible. Sometimes to the detriment of the truth, but at least you can rely on them to not to be fringy in that way. However, the truth is fringy often, so that doesn't mean they're reliable. But anyway, here's what Wikipedia has to say about MK Ultra. It was an illegal human experimentation program designed and undertaken by the U.S. Central Intelligence Agency, intended to develop procedures and identify drugs that could be used in interrogations to weaken individuals and force confessions through brainwashing and psychological torture. It began in 1953 and was halted in 1973. MK Ultra used numerous methods to manipulate its subjects' mental states and brain functions, such as the covert administration of high doses of psychoactive drugs, especially LSD, and other chemicals, electroshocks, hypnosis, sensory deprivation, isolation, and verbal and sexual abuse, in addition to other forms of torture. That just sounds horrible, and all of that was conducted by the CIA. It was preceded by 2 drug-related experiments, Project Bluebird and Project Artichoke. It was organized through the CIA's Office of Scientific Intelligence and coordinated with the blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so it goes on. It's a very long article about MK Ultra, but it was a very, very real and very scary thing that the United States government was doing, in particular about brainwashing. And Jacques Vallée brought up some evidence that he believes that Bob Lazar could have been a victim of MK Ultra and their brainwashing program. So, why would that be? Well, I have not read the book, but I did find some interesting things on Reddit, so here goes. Here are some quotes by Bob Lazar. My memory may have been tampered with. And he's talking about his time at S4, Area 51. There was a sort of infirmary in the back of that facility. They gave me all kinds of tests there. They made me drink a glass full of yellow liquid that smelled like pine. And it seems that they hypnotized me several times. I never found out why. Well, he also says in other places that he interacted with at least 1 or 2 beings there. One he saw in a chair, and another was in this infirmary area where there is a entity, a non-human entity that he believes was behind a curtain and was communicating with him telepathically during one of these sessions. I believe is what he said on that. Going on with the Reddit post. Nonetheless, he was subjected to extensive testing at the lab infirmary. The doctor drew a large amount of his blood, had him drink a glass full of a yellow liquid that smelled like pine, and hypnotized him several times. He was never given specific reasons why these procedures had to be done. Let us also not forget that Lazar said that prior to each day of work, he would be given a pine-smelling liquid to drink. They told him it was to protect him against various things that could get him sick when working. Others have suggested it was a mind-controlling substance, which we know the government have developed during MK Ultra. All very interesting. I might need to read that book by Jacques Vallée to see what other evidence he has uncovered about why he believes Bob was a victim of MK Ultra and what that might have to do with S4 or Area 51. I have a hard time believing that the CIA would brainwash someone into thinking they were reverse engineering alien technology and then, presumably encourage them to go public with that information. That seems like a massive stretch. A massive, massive stretch. I can't overstate what a huge stretch that would be. Some of the explanations I've heard have been the old saw about how the government is trying to invoke fear in people regarding the UFO UAP issue for an eventual false flag operation where the aliens will appear to attack and the governments will seize control, greater control of the populace. And, that's how the New World Order will begin, by coalescing power against a phantom alien threat. And that has been around for a long time, even since before aliens were part of mainstream consciousness. Back then it was about a spiritual happening. So yeah, I totally have no faith in that narrative. I think that's BS. That's been around forever. Pardon me. Anyway, that idea has been around forever. It has never come to fruition. That narrative has been around for like 100 years. The Project Bluebeam stuff. It's BS. I hope that was not in Jacques Vallée's mind in coming up with this idea. Probably wasn't. If anybody has read that book, Revelations, please let me know in the comments below what you can remember about Jacques' theories on that. But MK Ultra was a very real thing. Bob Lazar would have, been of an age to be part of that. That tracks possibly. About the liquids he was made to drink and the hypnosis he was made to undergo in S4 / Area 51, to me, that what makes sense is that he was indeed interacting with the beings. As many other whistleblowers from Area 51 have stated, that, they are interacting with the beings there. Remote viewers have seen this. And it just seems to be a thing. So, to me, that is what makes sense, is that there were special precautions and procedures in place for people that were dealing with the entities, possibly to make controlling them easier, possibly, to reduce risk of some sort of contagion. We've seen several cases of humans getting sick from encountering the beings, like in the Virginia case where a man died after tackling one of the beings. So there is a serious physical danger with humans interacting with the beings and also interacting with the technology, with the UFOs. Many people have been burned and gravely, stricken and gravely ill from interacting with the technology. You see all sorts of weird things at Skinwalker Ranch too, immuno problems and the like. So, that could be what that's about. And the hypnosis could be to make wiping their minds easier, or, so that they possibly would not freak out in the presence of the beings. Because according to my research, absolutely, the beings are there at Area 51. They've been there for a long time. They control a group, whatever you want to call them. They have been interacting with the beings for a long time. And all of the various bases and operations that the United States and their allies in this project have, at a certain level, they are interacting with the beings. You see this again and again and again. You see, there was one, I think it was a general who was cautioning his subordinate not to make a sign of distress when he encountered the smell given off by one of the beings. He says that beings don't like it when you think they're stinky. So don't make a face. Don't act nauseous. Don't throw up. Because apparently that was a problem, which would go along with them being toxic and harmful to humans, at least some of them. I imagine that would just be a subset of the beings that would be toxic. And that would explain why Bob Lazar was made to drink that drink. And the hypnosis very well could have been to allow him to deal with the beings, in a more congenial way without freaking out. I know I might freak out if I randomly encountered the being, a being, or even in that context encountered a being. So it would probably ease my mind if somebody could use some hypnosis on me to, you are going to interact with a being, you'll be calm and professional, and you'll deal respectfully with the being. Something like that could have taken place, or the hypnosis could have actually been where the mind wiping took place. So, but it is a very interesting idea, to combine MK Ultra with Area 51 and Bob Lazar. I just think that's fascinating, and I wanted to share that idea with you, and hopefully to get some of your thoughts and opinions on that, because I would love more information about that. Have you read the book? Have you investigated this area more thoroughly than I have? Because I would love to get your research and your insights into what all of this means. So please drop me a line in the comments below and let me know what you think. Was Bob Lazar a victim of MK Ultra, and did that have anything to do with his belief and his claims that he was reverse engineering alien technology at Area 51? And if you've enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. Please smash the subscribe button and hit the bell so you don't miss a single video. Please join me on social media. There's Facebook and Twitter links below. And please, if you enjoy these videos, please consider supporting the channel by becoming a channel member. See the first line in the description below, and there's 2 tiers of membership to receive exclusive access in videos. Until next time, this is Jack with Cosmic Road.